Welcome back. Police are urging people with information to assist with the investigation to come forward. This after at least 6 bodies have been found in a veld near the Marais-Burg off-ramp. It appears the victims have been shot, stabbed and stoned to death. They're believed to be so-called Zama-Zamas. Now, ENCA's Pule Latwiti-Jones has been following that story for us, and he joins us live here in the studio. Pule, a rather horrific scene, and then from a law enforcement point of view now, a very sensitive scene as well. But I do believe we've heard from an eyewitness. What has that eyewitness been able to tell us about what was found there?
It's quite an interesting story. In fact, what we do understand is that this community called Bosman is just adjacent to New Canada and not far from a mining dump area. And they believe that these Zama-Zamas have been terrorizing the community of Bosman for quite some time in terms of being involved in criminal activities. And therefore, they allege that this was a retaliation method from the community members who allegedly took the law into their hands and went onto a shootout rampage scene with members of the Zama-Zamas. And hence why when you look at the crime scene, you get to see that the bodies of these 6 Zama-Zamas were scattered all over from one area to another. It shows you that they would have been running away from some sort of terror attack which they were facing at that particular moment. But most importantly, they're saying that they have been calling police officials to come and address them, but this hasn't been happening for a very long time. That's why they decided to actually take the law into their hands. That's one version of the story. The second version, when we got there, we were told that these were Zama-Zamas fighting amongst each other for turf reclaimment of the area whatsoever, but police haven't confirmed that. So for now, we spoke to an eyewitness who saw everything, who says this matter happened at 6 p.m. last night. Only this morning, police discovered the bodies and the scene. But let's just take a listen to what he had to say so you get a sense of what he was trying to explain to us.
Bosman community, it's old Bosman, opposite the cemetery. Now in the cemetery is a little hill, just opposite Highgate, China Mall at the moment. There were 5 Zama-Zamas standing on top of the hill because that is the hole that they go into, the mine that they actually mine in. That mine probably comes right till about this area here. Then one minute I saw the 5 standing on top of the hill. I looked to the left, there was a stream of people running along the train lines along the graveyard. There were not 20 or 30 people, there were about 100 people. And then I looked back at the Zama-Zamas and they started running away from that mine, and those people started chasing them, and then gunshots started coming. They ran obviously on the back of the graveyard, along the sloot, along all the back houses of Bosman, and they were hunted down by that particular community of people. There must have been 120 of them that were shooting at those Zama-Zamas, and they clearly came to hunt them down, to close that mine. Because basically in Bosman, when we sleep at night, we hear gunshots every night, in old Bosman. Between the hours of 10 o'clock the night till about 4 o'clock the morning. That's basically what we live through. But it appears to be that they decided that everyone's tired of this particular occurrences and they took them out. And that's how it looks according to me. One of the dead bodies were found at the bottom of the road, just after my road, laying right outside a house of a friend of mine. It wasn't covered yet in blood. It wasn't covered yet by the little body bag thing. The problem with this whole situation is that the police only showed up the morning when those gunshots happened at 6:15 yesterday evening. There were no police anywhere. There were no sirens anywhere. There were no helicopters flying around there. They only showed up this morning.
Pule, that's a very important point made there at the end of that soundbite from that eyewitness. He gave a lot of detail and talking about how this kind of thing happens all the time. But the fact that he said that there seem to be about 100 people, I mean, we're talking about a mob that happened last night around 6 o'clock. And yet the police only made the grisly discovery at 6 o'clock. That's more than 12 hours later. That's quite telling, isn't it?
Yeah, that's quite, it's unfair for the community members. And what we understand is that this seemed like a well-coordinated strategy by community members to actually embark on this operation without the presence of police officials and ensure that they try to bulldoze the Zama-Zamas out of their community. And what we're being told is that they reported this incident around after 6 p.m. It happened from 6 p.m. until about 10 p.m. in the evening. Police officials only came the following day, according to this eyewitness here. But very also concerning is that the shootout happened next to the N1 highway, meaning anyone could have been caught in the crossfire. It was quite dangerous what had transpired there. But police officials are saying they do not know what's the sinister motive behind this whole crime, why the 6 bodies were discovered gruesomely like that. They're investigating the matter, and they're hoping to find clues as the days or the months proceed going forward.
Well, it sounds like they just need to speak to the community, because they say they've been struggling for a long time with problems emanating from that. Obviously, a big police presence there today as they try and keep that crime scene safe. What are they saying about this investigation going forward?
So the investigation will just look into what had happened, from what we understand. Obviously, this culminates from a series of issues that have been brewing in Gauteng. You look at Krugersdorp, you look at Katlehong, you look at now in Boston. You look at these imbizos that have been held by the police minister, Bheki Cele, and of course the premier, outgoing premier, David Makhura as well. And then you ask yourself one question: is there a well-coordinated plan to fight crime and take South Africans into confidence? And community members just don't want another imbizo, which will tap into taxpayers' money. They want action. They want more reinforcement. And that's what the police are saying, to say they will be deploying more members and police officials in the area to ensure that they can curb this kind of crime.
Let's hear now from the police on the matter.
The police this morning were called in after there were reports of several bodies that were seen by passers-by on the N1. Then they came here with all the resources that were mobilized, as like your forensic services, your pathology as well as the K9 unit. So as soon as they got here, they combed the scene, and then they discovered 6 bodies that we can confirm now. At this stage, we do not know what the motive is. The bodies are confirmed to have gunshot wounds, but we will be investigating cases of murder, 6 counts of murder, and then the motive will be determined. But we can say that with information that we have received, that these people that have died are confirmed to be, are suspected to be Zamazamas in the area.
Now to